friends. This is Jesse Juarez, president of the Rotary Club of sunny Seaside, California. You're watching a presentation which was recorded live at one of our club meetings. Seaside Rotary meets twice a month via Zoom. Our meetings feature dynamic presentations by many of the movers and shakers that make Monterey County such a vibrant and hardworking community. If you'd like to join a meeting or learn more about Rotary and the work that we do, you can reach out to Seaside Rotary Club at gmail.com. Again, that's Seaside Rotary Club at gmail.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more dynamic content. And then I would like to give the floor to my colleague, Ms. Lisa Sani, who's going to introduce our esteemed guest speaker.
Great. Thanks, Jesse. Today, we're lucky to have Mark Vasquez speaking, and he's a consultant for Cal Coastal. And
Lisa, we lost your audio.
there we go.
Sorry
Am I
about that.
unmuted? And we've got
I may have done that accidentally. My apologies, Lisa.
no worries, no worries. And we got Dora barking in the background. I'm just going to close my office door. All right. So we're lucky to have Mark Vasquez speaking with us today. He's a consultant for Cal Coastal, and he'll be speaking about their programs and his experience of living in the area for almost a decade. As he shared with us a little earlier, he worked for the city of Seaside for a couple years, and I think he has a varied experience overall. I'll share a little bit about Cal Coastal as well. They currently operate 8 loan programs, which include farm loan programs, SBA programs, intermediary relending programs, state guarantee program, Monterey County revolving loan fund, community advantage loan, and underground storage tank cleanup fund. The typical loan ranges from $5,000 to $5 million and can be utilized for building, purchase, machinery and equipment, inventory, or working capital. So please join me in welcoming Mark, and we look forward to it. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for that introduction. Kind of stole my thunder there. But no, thank you. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see here. Jesse, are you able to do that, or do I have to set that up?
Oh, looks like you should be able to share the screen now.
All right, let's see. Oh, here we go. So share screen. Let's do this one. And let me know if you can see that, if you can hear me okay.
Oh, yep, we see it loud and we can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Well, so good afternoon, everyone. I'd first of all like to say thank you to the Seaside Rotary for having me. Special thanks to Steve McShane and Jesse Juarez for the invitation to speak today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lisa, for that introduction.
You bet.
So like Lisa said, my name is Mark Vasquez and I'm with Cal Coastal, located here in Salinas. So a little background on me, I moved to Salinas in 2011, spent some time working with the agriculture companies in Salinas. Also studied agriculture production and business at Hartnell College and MPC. Most recently, as Lisa mentioned, I was working at the City of Seaside Building and Planning Department. Great place to work. I really miss working there. And if you guys have any questions about permits or licenses, I'd be happy to help. Feel free to give me a call. So today I want to talk about California Coastal Rural Development Corporation, or Cal Coastal for short. We have 3 locations, as I said, downtown Salinas. We also have an office in Santa Maria, Santa Barbara. We are a nonprofit lender. We operate similar to a commercial bank. However, we do not compete with banks directly. We offer similar products a commercial lender might have, except we try to focus on small businesses and family farmers that may not otherwise qualify for a commercial loan. So we work with state, federal agencies and local governments. We do things like loan packaging, credit analysis, underwriting. Once our loans are approved, well, they go through an approval process. They go to our loan committee and then our board of directors for final approval. And all members are community-based members. And so that's what I also wanted to do today, just talk a little bit about some of the loan products that we might have to offer, to the community. So one thing that makes Cal Coastal a bit unique is that we offer clients technical assistance for entrepreneurs and small businesses. We do this with our, We do this with our sister company, Cal Coastal Small Business Development Center, or SBDC. That office is located on Lincoln Street here in Salinas. Additionally, we offer assistance to the public. So not just our own clients, but we offer free business assistance to the public free of charge. So what we can do is we can pair you with a business consultant in your area, wherever you happen to be. And we just, we help provide tools to help develop things like a business plan, explain the funding process, breaking down, certain financial documents, and just overall, just information on business resources that are available in your area. And I'd like to emphasize these are all free services available to everyone. All right, so we do have about 10 loan programs, give or take. So I kind of want to quickly review each program and then go through the slides kind of quickly. And then as you guys have questions about a program, maybe we can talk about it a little bit more after the presentation. But our programs, as you'll see, they range anywhere from $10,000 to $5 million. And we think this is good because it's, we can use one of these programs to help one of your businesses get the funding that they need. So actually, let me go back here. So the first program I'd like to talk about is the Jump Start. This is a state program that's funded through iBank, the Infrastructure and Economic Development Bank. Under this program, we can do max loans of up to $10,000, our clients have used these loans in the past for things like inventory purchases, things like that. Startups do qualify for these loans, and the interest rate right now is about 8.25%. Next, we also have the micro loan program, as Lisa mentioned. This is through SBA, Small Business Administration. The max we can do on these is $50,000. The terms and the rates are going to vary, just kind of depending on the use of funds, type of business you have. Sorry about that, it keeps changing. Currently for the micro loan, it's around 6.25%. But again, these don't quote me on these, the rates change. So we can check on that, as we have applicants. There are fees that do apply. And let's see, for this one, some of our clients use it for inventory purchases as well, if you're an existing business. There are other approved uses of the funds. All right, the next one that I'd like to talk about is the Monterey County Revolving Loan Fund. This is a fund that we can use to make loans up to $400,000. So we can actually make loans up to $400,000. The terms will vary on the loan amount, use of the funds, as I said. Typically, it'll be anywhere from 5 years to 25 years for real estate. Interest is tied to prime, so it varies. And then fees do apply. Under this program, your business must be located in Monterey County. Next, we have the USDA IRP. For this one, we could do loans up to $250,000. Terms vary depending on the use of funds, as I said. 25 years for real estate, which is typical. Interest tied to prime. There's an additional 2 to 2.5% for this loan. The thing about this program is you have to be in an eligible rural area, so we can do a quick check to see if your business might qualify. So this is my favorite program, the farm loan program. So what we do is we work with the USDA FSA to provide farm ownership and operating loans. And we do hold a preferred lender status, which means that we can get things processed a little bit quicker. The loan ceilings for this just went up a little bit. Now it's up to $1,776,000 for these types of loans for family farmers. Interest rates are based on the Farmer Mac COFI. And we can do a 3-month reset or a 5-year reset. So if you know any family farmers, family businesses in need of funding, I'm happy to talk to them. Please send it my way. Up next, we do have the state loan guarantee. So this is an interesting program as well. So under this program, we can offer a loan guarantee up to 80% of the loan with a max of $1 million. So essentially what we do is we would work with your bank or any other commercial lender. So we would basically do their terms. So whatever terms you guys agreed on. So that's one of the requirements is the lender must provide a commitment. We just provide the guarantee up to 80%. So this might be a good way to secure your loan. If you're, as I said, you're already working with another bank, fees do apply. And overall, the guarantee does expire after 7 years. So that's a good program there. We can also do the 504, which is another SBA program. This one's used typically for purchasing commercial property or large equipment. So, just kind of think fixed assets, things like that. Through this program, we can do 90% of the financing. Rates and terms vary. Other fees apply. Here we go. The Community Advantage. It's another good program. This is SBA's flagship loan program. It's really designed for the underserved markets in California. There's various approved use of funds for this program. We could do a max of $250,000 up to 25-year maturity for real estate. And so then it varies. It could be a 10-year for equipment purchase. Market rates vary. Right now, I believe it's at around 8%, but we have to double check at the time of application. So this is a huge program that I'm really excited to talk about. And this is one that we really want to promote. We've been kind of promoting all through this, emergency state that we've been in. This is the Emergency Loan Fund for businesses in Monterey County. So if you or any business you might know, if you can demonstrate that you've been affected by the shelter-in-place order, then this might be a good program for you. We can do max loans of up to $400,000. The term may vary, but it can be around a 7-year term with a 9-month deferral if needed. The interest is pretty low. It's it's at less than 2.5%. In order to qualify, businesses must have been operating for over a year, and they do have to demonstrate a post-disruption recovery plan. We have this money standing by, ready to fund businesses that are in need for funding, and we can get this money out within a couple of weeks for qualified individuals. So this is a huge resource for businesses in the area that we wanted to talk about. I know you guys are in Seaside, but we do have another loan program here in the business for businesses in Salinas. And huge shout out to Community Foundation, Monterey County, and the James Irvine Foundation. With their help, we created this Salinas microloan program and entrepreneurship training. So this is a project that we're kind of working on. This is for qualified businesses in the city of Salinas. So for this one, we can do loans up to $25,000, 5-year term. We can also do a 9-month deferral. Interest would be around 3 to 5%, depending on the applicant. Startups are eligible, definitely. And a big thing about this project is we want to encourage Latino or Latinx owned businesses. Anyone can apply, but we're really we're trying to reach that market there, make sure that people have the resources they need for their businesses. We have several bilingual staff here that are happy to help offer assistance that way. And so in addition to the loan, we are offering an 8-course training program. It's in the works. The neat thing about this program is that so we're going to be supplying the applicants with a laptop and a Wi-Fi hotspot if needed. We can definitely set them up with that. And if the applicant completes the program, then they get to keep the computer, and they're pretty neat. You know, Chromebooks, you know, touch screen, you know, really up to date equipment there. So this is a program that we're really excited to talk about. We kind of want to get that information out there. There's businesses that are in need. You know, we can provide resources for that. And yeah, so we're still on that. This project is still in the works, so more info to come on that. All right, so this is a page just kind of to show appreciation to our partners. We need to come up with some room there, but we need to add the city of Salinas and the city of Seaside for their assistance with administering some of these programs, and the Community Foundation of Monterey County as well. With that, I will kick it back to Jesse or Lisa if we have time for questions.
All right, perfect. Much appreciated, Mark. Well, yeah, it looks like we have a couple of questions in the chat box window there. Let's see, the first one, I know you may have touched on this a little bit, but recently there's been $26 billion bill for restaurants. Is that something that you're helping with as well? There's many restaurants in Seaside that would be helpful for.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of new information trickling in, and it's kind of hard to keep up. But that's why I'd like to kind of highlight the service that we offer through SBDC. So they're kind of up to date on, you know, the latest information. If you send me an email, get your information and get you signed up for their services, and they'll help you, provide you with the links, the most updated websites, phone numbers, and they're a little bit more familiar with the application process for grants and things like that. But they can definitely help you through that. I think the restaurant one is a fairly new one. I just saw an email, I think a couple of days ago. I don't know too much about it, but again, that's why we like to use their SBDC for these types of requests. Mm-hmm.
Cool, very cool stuff. Well, and next question we have in the chat box window, and I know you touched on this a little bit. What type of change in lending demand have you seen in response to businesses affected by the pandemic?
So I'm not sure with commercial banks. I imagine overall demand went down, but you know, I'm not an economist. I can tell you we received a lot of inquiries and for loans, and we also received you know, several inquiries for grants. Unfortunately, we're only equipped to do loans, so and not personal loans either. We got several inquiries for personal loans. So what Cal Coastal does is we're a small business lender, but in the case when we're not able to help someone with the appropriate resources, you know, we try to get them connected to the right, you know, entity, you know, whether it's your city or your, you know, it's SBDC, to kind of get people set up that way. But yes, a lot of inquiries, and that's an interesting question. Yeah, I'm not sure, but overall, my guess, my personal take would be that demand went down.
Excellent. I'd like to go ahead and open the floor to any members who'd like to go ahead and unmute themselves if there's any questions, or if you'd like to raise your hand there.
I'll go ahead and jump in.
Oh, sorry.
Jesse?
Oh, yes.
This is Lisa. If I can ask a question, I just asked, is credit and collateral required for most of your loans? And I just want to thank you for this presentation. It's very informative for me.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, credit and collateral will help. It just depends. It's a lot of work, and we do have to do a full credit, you know, evaluation of the applicant, make sure that the deal not only works for us, but it works for the client. Oftentimes, and it's fairly, you know, standard procedure, collateral is oftentimes required. A lot of times what we do is we do what's called a UCC1, which we just basically list Cal Coastal as the lien holder for business assets. So if we're financing, you know, an espresso machine or a pizza oven or whatever it may be, then, you know, we're listed as as a lien holder, but it varies, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Did we answer everyone's questions on the chat here? Let's see.
I think we've got all the questions answered in the chat. One thing I was hoping to ask, just to get a little more of context, a little more about your personal history, what brought you into this line of work, and maybe if you could speak to what you like most about it.
So when I first moved to Salinas, family, big, it's a huge ag economy. So I quickly became a fan of agriculture, farming, things like that. I mean, it's a beautiful area anyways. We got a lot of nature and, things like that. Yeah, so that's kind of how I pursued a career in agriculture. I've always been interested in, economics, business, things like that. I worked for several companies in Salinas in quality control. So I was out in the field actually doing sampling of the lettuce, broccoli. I worked a little bit in food safety. I also worked for I don't know if you guys have seen the USDA Research Center over on Alisal Street in Salinas. They're building a new facility, brand new lab. So I'm glad that you can see the I-beams being erect there. But what we did there, I worked with Jim McCright. I believe he's still there. We did a little bit of disease resistance. So I was just their assistant, but they were doing disease resistance for powdery mildew in lettuce and cucurbits, which is, your melons and your, cucumbers, things like that. So it just kind of made me develop kind of like a fascination for agriculture, plants, nature, things like that. And then, recently I had a opportunity to go do some work for the city of Seaside, and all of that is also very fascinating. Just kind of learning the process for if a business wants to get their business license, what do they need? What sort of permit do they need? I worked a little bit with the plan check department as well. That was very interesting. So and just overall, I like helping individuals. Someone has any questions about what they need to get started, I'm happy to provide those resources. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me, just kind of trying to learn agriculture business and things like that. Yeah.
Well, sounds like you got definitely a lot of experience there that lended itself to the line of work you're in now. Very cool to hear. Looks like we have a couple of virtual raised hands. Ms. Gale and Mr. Danny Bakewell. Ms. Gale, I think yours came up first. I'm going to go ahead and ask you to unmute yourself.
There we go.
Perfect.
Hi. Thank you, Mark, for a very good presentation. I just have a couple of questions. I was wondering how do you stack yourself up, your loan company up against others as far as your origination fees and your list of fees that you put up here and your interest rates? And do you typically tend to help out maybe a company that's credit is not real stellar, so you can cut them a break by getting them through? Just wondering about how you compare to other companies as far as your fees.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so this is it's going to be a long answer. So we have a lot of loan programs, as we kind of just quickly touched on them. I'm working specifically with the farm loans programs, and then right now I am helping with the Monterey County Revolving Loan Fund. Through those programs, we do have pre-approved policies. So at all times, the loan officer does have to follow the policies. So we do a credit analysis, and it goes to our chief credit officer when we provide recommendation for loans. So we would have to kind of do a full review of financial statements, things like that. I try my best to be informative, provide all the resources that an applicant might need. Provide the application, a list of documents that's going to help us, get them approved for the application. As far as credit, Cal Coastal's overall mission is to provide assistance to people with challenged credit. So that's absolutely who our market is. We're not here to compete with banks. We want to work with banks. We want to work with other entities out there that are offering similar services. So, that's kind of the thing is where we're not in direct competition. We want to help. Certain programs will be, less than market rate. Other programs are at market rate. So it really depends. And then it also depends on the type of loan and the use of funds. So that's why I meant by it's not an easy answer. But overall, yes, we do try to do our best to accommodate. I'll have an interview or take a phone call with an applicant. I learn a little bit about their business, and then I try to offer a solution or a product that might fit them best.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, it's great that you're able to provide that customer service experience for that to tailor your services to what that applicant might need. For our next question, looks like Mr. Danny Bakewell has his hand raised. Danny, if you'd like to go ahead.
Sure. Mark, thank you for a great presentation. I'm familiar with some other CDC loan program offices throughout both in Northern California and Southern California.
Okay.
And I know, I kind of know all the great work that you guys have done. I have a twofold question. I guess the first one being, are you guys actually an administrator of PPP funds for businesses that are operating in the area?
No, I believe with that you have to go through a bank.
Okay.
But what we do offer is the technical assistance.
Okay.
But through our SBDC office, where we do get a lot of inquiries. So we just sign up the callers for the SBDC, the agreement. It's just, it's like a one-page sheet. They got to agree to, that they're going to be getting the service, no charge. And we set them up with either some SBDC staff will help them if they can answer their questions. If not, they pair them up with a consultant that'll be able to help them. But overall, they're familiar with the application process. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then my other question, which is really my primary question, do you guys, and I know some do and some don't, do you guys fund or work with any startup businesses, or you guys only work with established businesses? A lot of, like catering business, things like that have wanted to transfer into kind of the food truck business. Some are, trying to transfer from food truck to actual brick and mortar facility, things like that. But not only restaurants, but just startup businesses in general.
Yeah. Overall, from what I've heard, most banks will ask you for 2 to 3 years of financial statements, tax returns, things like that. We definitely do help startups. However, you have to be in business for at least a year. So startup meaning, you can be a startup and you're in your third year, you might still be considered a startup.
Right.
It's a little bit difficult. And again, we have to check on the loan program. So depending on the type of business, depending on the use of funds, depending on the amount requested, we got to look into all that. And ideally, the applicant is at least 1 year. For certain programs, 2 years is required. But definitely, we do offer services for startups.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool to hear. We have, looks like we have another question in the chat box window here. Where does your funding come from? Grants, county, state, federal economic development, CDBG funds, etc.?
All of the above, I believe. Although I'm not sure about CDBG, but yeah, definitely we partner up with state, federal, county. Absolutely, yeah. We partner up with different entities to try to help administer these loans. Like USDA, they're not able to handle all the loan volume required to provide funding for all of America. They can't do it, so they rely on people like us. And as I mentioned, we are listed as a preferred lender, so we package the loans for them. We do the full credit analysis. We run it by our loan committee, board of directors, And then once they've gone through that approval process, then we send it to them. They rely on our recommendation. They do their own review, but that's kind of typical for other programs as well.
It's definitely a much needed service for an organization like Cal Coastal to be able to provide that research and that all the footwork that's needed, like you said, in researching and getting the details needed in order to get that money out. So very cool to hear about that. Does anyone else in the group have any questions or would like to raise your hand there? Well, one question I had, a bit of a hardball question there, Mark. What are some of your personal hobbies there?
Oh man, personal hobbies. It used to be fishing and dirt biking. I'm from Southern California, so that's all you could really do over there. But lately with COVID, with the year we've had, just kind of cooking, learning how to cook for myself. Can't order takeout too much, but just gosh, what are my hobbies? Exercising, just trying to stay healthy. Yeah, playing a little bit of golf when I can, hitting the driving range. But yeah, absolutely.
Very nice. Well, we certainly have a number of great golf courses around this area, so there's no lack of that. Oh, Ms. Gale, did you have another question there? I'm not sure if your raised hand.
No, maybe I didn't put it down.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
Okay. No, because I didn't think I had it up.
All good, all good. Well, hey, if there's no more questions from the audience here, I would like to say personally, Mark, thank you so much. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing all this great information about your organization and all the work that it does for Monterey County. And of course, anyone here today, if you have any further questions, I know that Mark is going to share his contact information. I'll be sure to share that in the follow-up email to this meeting, which of course, like I keep saying, will include the YouTube link for today's presentation. So Mark, once again, thank you on behalf of the Rotary Club of Seaside.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. I'll go ahead and email you my contact info if that works with you. Then you can share it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Perfect. All right, thank you so much.
Everyone.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording function right